Okay, guys, if you have your workbook, go ahead and open to M459. If you don't have your workbook, you may want to get out a sheet of paper just to kind of take some notes down, just to kind of help you through it. I'll go ahead and give you a few minutes to get that done. All right, so we just got done talking about categorical and numerical data, and then we talked about the lunch lady, Miss Seymour, who took the survey to see which she should cut from her budget for school lunches. So what we're going to do is take that categorical data that we found with the 9th and 10th graders and make a two-way frequency table. So this definition right here kind of just explains that. Displays categorical data by representing the number of occurrences that fall into each group of two variables. So we're just measuring the frequency of how many times you see something. So here it says consider the favorite meal data collected from Ms. Seymour in the previous activity. The first variable is grade level, so identify the groups. So she did that PE class and it had 9th and 10th graders. The second variable would be favorite meal. And there were 4 different meals she let people choose from. And that was salad bar, burger, chicken nuggets, and pizza. And we were able to kind of just look at the data, and you guys gave some answers as to what you think was the most popular and what wasn't. A frequency table will help us identify that a little bit better. So let's move to page M460, and it has our data. And then it says here, the third step of statistical process is to analyze the data numerically and graphically. So we asked the question, we took the survey, we received the data. So now we're going to put it into some kind of graphical thing to see it a little bit better. So we are going to fill in based on this information. We're going to fill in this chart. Really, it's just all about counting. Here it says to use tally marks. So that's what we're going to start with, is tally marks. But first we need to put in our meals and put in our grade level. My pen's a little bit harder, so I'm going to have to write a little bit smaller. So we had 9th and 10th. And up here at the top, it doesn't have to go in any order. I'm just going to go ahead and abbreviate since I'm not going to be able to fit. So burgers, chicken nuggets, pizza, and salad bar. So all we need to do is count. So we would go through and we would say, how many burgers did 9th graders like? And you could go here, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So there were 4 ninth graders that like burgers, so you would just put 4 tallies. And then you could either do all of ninth grade, so you could say how many liked chicken nuggets and go through and cross those off as well. I'm going to go ahead and give you a few minutes to maybe fill some of those out, and then I will plug them in for you. Okay, so you may or may not have gotten some of those done. So 10th graders who liked burgers, there were 3. Ninth graders who liked chicken nuggets, there was 1. 10th graders for chicken nuggets was 7. So we take our 4 tallies, make it 5 by crossing it over, and then 7. They each had 3 for pizza. Ninth graders, 5 like the salad bar, and 4 10th graders liked the salad bar. So that's just the start of a frequency table, is tallying. So here it says, are there any associations between grade level and favorite meal? So you can look like, you could say something here like more 10th graders liked chicken nuggets. Oops, sorry. Try that again. More 10th graders liked chicken nuggets compared to ninth. So just different things like that. It's a little bit easier to analyze when you have it laid out like that than it is anything else. You could say they both equally liked pizza the same. So different things like that. It's just a little bit easier to analyze the data when it's in a chart. So down here is just kind of a big paragraph about frequency distribution. And that's just what we did. It says display the frequencies of categorical data in a two-way table, and that's what we did. Then it says here, it talks about a joint frequency, and it says each time you determined the frequency of one favorite meal of one grade level, you recorded the joint frequency. So that's just pretty much what we did. So then it talks about how this paragraph down here talks about how the total is really important, which is kind of what we're going to go to next. So on page M461, we talk about this thing called marginal frequency distribution, and you'll see that over here in your book. It displays the total of the frequencies of rows or columns of a frequency table. So now we're going to do the frequency table. We're not going to use tallies. We're actually going to use numbers. And then we're going to have the totals. And when you have a frequency table that has the totals, then it's called a marginal frequency table. So big thing is that some people forget, if you're going this way, these are rows. And these are the columns. I know it sounds silly, but sometimes people forget. So I'm just going to not assume and go ahead and let you know. So again, we go back and we don't do anything different here except for put numbers. So we had 4 tallies in 9th graders for burgers. So we're just going to put a 4 here. We had 3 there. Then we had 1 chicken nugget for 9th grade, 7 for 10th. They matched for pizza. Then we had 5, and 4. So now we're going to do the marginal part, which is to get the totals. So if I look at the 9th grade row, I'm going to add up all those numbers to get my total, which would be 13. If I look at my 10th grade row, you're going to add up all of those, which is how many 10th graders were surveyed, which is 17. And then we go ahead and do the columns. So we do how many burgers, 7. How many chicken nuggets, 8. Pizza was 6. Salad bar was 9. And then you kind of have this box right here. And this box is pretty important. This box is like the overall total of everything. So you would add up both of your totals. So you would add up your column total and you'd add up your row total, and those would need to match. If they don't match, then you added something incorrectly. So this is kind of the grand total of everyone who was surveyed, which is 30. So I'll kind of give you some time to fill that in. Again, that's a marginal frequency distribution. So that marginal just means it's the total of the frequencies that you saw. Once you have this marginal frequency table, this is really nice to start then answering questions. So now we're going to analyze the data with some more questions by using this marginal frequency table. So here it says how many 9th graders participated in the survey. So this is where the rows and columns come in. So we see 9th grade and we just want to know the 9th grade total. So we're going to go across and the total 9th graders would be 13. Now once I scroll, I'm not going to be able to see the screen up here as much, so you'll have to look at yours. How many students prefer burgers? So they're saying students in general, they're not saying specific. So we would look at our column of burgers and we would look down at our total, and that would be 7. Next, it says how many students prefer chicken nuggets. So that would be the total number of students, which would be 8. How many 10th graders participated in the survey? So we go to 10th grade. We want the total number of 10th graders, which was 17. And then it asks how many students prefer the salad bar. So you would find the salad bar column and you would see there that there would be 9. So it should be super simple to be able to read the table that you filled out. Let's go ahead and go to our last page. It should be M462. And here it says, how can you use the totals to determine whether you created the frequency distribution, whether you correctly created the frequency distribution? Well, there's multiple ways. You could have counted that table that they gave you and saw that there were 30 students and then looked at your total and known that if that added up to 30, then you were on the right track. So really just being able to recheck the data in your table to your frequency table and making sure those totals match. All right, so then it asks to answer some more questions. It says use the marginal frequency distribution to answer each question. Now they're just asking about specific meals. So which meal did the least number of students say was their favorite? So you would go back up here and you would look and see which one was the least liked. So you would go to your column totals, and it looks like that would be pizza. Next, which meal did the least number of ninth graders say was their favorite meal? So you would go to the ninth graders and look at which one they like least, and that would have been chicken nuggets, because I think only one person said that they liked chicken nuggets. Which meal is the favorite of all students? The most popular meal was the salad bar. And then which meal was the favorite over 10th graders? And that was chicken nuggets. I think they had 7. So that is frequency tables and how to fill those out and answer questions. Most likely you'll want to look and see if your teacher wants you to do your practice for that, which is page 172 and 173. That also goes with these notes that we took today. Enjoy your day off, and we will see you later.